Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
The Lifestyle Show.
Selina MacKenzie.
Animal Talk. Presented by Selina MacKenzie. Yes, this is the May edition of Animal Talk. We'll be with you for an hour. I'm joined by three lovely ladies. Just want to let you know, if you want to ask any questions or join in our conversations about animals, you can give us a call on 952 78 4000. You can WhatsApp 645 99 67 95, or you can email studio@tre.radio. The ladies I'm joined by in the studio are our regulars, Kay Millington and Nasli van den Kieboom. I'm getting so good at
You are getting good at that.
And she's been on the show before, Caroline Stone. Thanks for joining us, Caroline.
Thanks for having me, Selina.
Let's get this show on the road, see if you can guess the animal.
Animal Talk. It's a cat.
Presented by Selina MacKenzie. It's not hard at all. She said, I've put some new animals in, they'll never guess them. I think we might guess that one, Mary. Yeah. Now, we all know Nasli, you're the vet from Pointers at Estepona. We all know Kay from AAA Cat House and Rescue for Spain. And you probably all know Caroline, but I just want you to tell us a little bit about Canine Bodyworks, what you do.
Okay, I'm a canine massage therapist, so I work with dogs that have got orthopaedic conditions like arthritis or hip dysplasia. Massage is a fantastic way of managing chronic pain. I also work with dogs to rehabilitate muscular injuries like strains, and aging dogs as well. I have a lot of aging dogs that I work with to help to keep them mobile and happy and enjoying life for longer.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, when they get to the end of their lives, you don't want them to be suffering, do you?
No, we want to keep them as comfortable as possible for as long as possible.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okie dokie. I will sort you out, Kay, in the first advert break. I know you're having a few problems with your hearing.
I'm deaf enough as it is already, never mind.
Bless you. Well, I wanted to start off today's show with a bit of an obvious one because it has been unbelievably warm and humid for this time of the year. So it's just a reminder, really, don't leave dogs in locked cars. You always say check about cats, don't you? Check that. No, that's something else. That's if you lock a cat in the garage.
Yeah, you need to.
Holiday.
Exactly. That's always a good one.
Yeah. And also the animal's paws. I mean, you can't do a great deal about the cats. I suppose they'll know themselves if it's too hot. But don't force your dog out for a walk.
Exactly, because it's already really warm on the pavement. I've noticed.
Yeah, and leave water out for wildlife.
Yes.
Yes. Very important at the moment.
Yes. And something else that's important at the moment, Nasli, is ticks. It's tick season.
Absolutely tick season. When the temperature goes up and it's still humid in the grass, that's when they really develop. And of course they're hungry, so any victim that comes by, which means people also, when you come back from a walk, just check for ticks. Yeah, you'll either have the little brown ones that look a bit like a spider, or the bigger ones which are grey and they can be as big as a broad bean.
Do they generally go for things like ears, or do they go for any sort of skin?
Any kind of skin.
Because we normally find them in our dogs' ears, if anywhere.
Yeah. But it's just easier for them to walk around where, say, on the inside of the ear flap. Yeah, but they're always, say, in the streamline of the dog. Yeah, so in the front of the face, the ears, because they stick out, armpits, and sometimes even between the toes.
And cats as well, or just dogs?
Cats as well. I've seen cats with like hundreds all around the rim of the ear.
And what are we supposed to do?
The best thing is to not pluck them off one by one, but to apply apply a product, whether it is a spray, or whether it is a tablet.
Alcohol?
Wouldn't do that either, because what you don't want to do is make the tick angry. What ticks do is they inject a little product that makes the blood not coagulate, otherwise they can't suck it. Then they start sucking. Now, if you angry this tick, he will vomit back into the bloodstream, and that is how infections come into your body.
Oh my God. Yeah. Right. So you can buy these sprays, can you?
Yes.
Ready for them. And if you haven't got the spray and you're worried that it's making the dog ill, take it to the vet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a picture. I took a picture from your Facebook page. Horrible.
They're horrible, aren't they? Horrible things.
Yeah.
Can I just say about the ticks as well? I think it's a great habit to get into is checking your dog whenever you get back from a walk for things like grass seeds as well. Yeah. And also while you're checking your dog, you just get to know your dog's body as well, so you get to know the muscles a bit better. Yeah. So you'll know when your dog is tight, or you start to notice things like that. So I think it's just a great habit to get into anyway, not just for tick season.
Great idea. Are grass seeds dangerous as well?
Well, they can get in the dog's paws, can't they?
They can get in anywhere.
Yeah. We've had them in a cat's gums. And really terrible infection.
Yeah. We had one between the molars of a dog's teeth. Yeah, but it couldn't go anywhere.
So much pain.
So it's just
horrible. It's a horrible time of the year.
Yes.
It is, isn't it?
For the animals. I wanted to also say, whilst we're on dogs, I read something that's been doing the rounds on Facebook, and I've always said I don't understand these people, each to their own, but I don't understand people who have dogs and then say, I'm never getting another one because I had it 15 years and it just broke my heart, I can't get another one. And I've always thought, but what about the rewards, the 15 years of reward? And when Paul O'Grady died, sadly recently, he said, taking any animal into your life will inevitably end in heartache, but you don't worry about the hangover when you're at the party.
Exactly, that's a good way of saying it.
It is.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Isn't it clever, that one? I like that one. Keep that one. Brilliant. Now, I did read also on Facebook a shocking story. A friend of mine forwarded this about a lady whose dog sadly died, and he'd been licking the leaves of a heliotrope plant. Heliotrope.
Yeah.
Very toxic.
Yeah, well, the vet, apparently even the vet that she took it to didn't realise that it was toxic, and I definitely didn't. So everybody needs to be aware to look up for a heliotrope plant. It causes liver destruction. I'm surprised actually a dog would lick a plant, to be honest, but I guess they do. And this dog was nibbling at its leaves, and it died.
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible. But there are many toxic plants around.
I would have thought so. But isn't that unusual for a dog to start nibbling it? I know they have grass and things, but...
Yeah, also, and sometimes they have like this craving all of a sudden to eat something, maybe because of a disease or something, but they will. One of my dogs loves the leaves of the lantana plant. Now, they're not toxic, but they're... Why?
Yeah,
why? Is it true that when they are eating grass outside, it's to make themselves sick, or is that a bit of a myth?
Usually they do it because they like it. Yeah, and they pick that specific, longer, wider grass to eat. Yeah, but if it starts to be obsessive, then something is going on.
Okay. And do cats lick plants and things? Do you have to be careful with them?
I mean, pretty much the toxic ones for dogs are the toxic for cats as well. We can also post something on your page on Animal Talk with Selina so that people know what we're talking about, what they look like. But talking about grass, I mean, cat grass, we have that at AAA as well with our cats, and they absolutely just love cat grass. My cat's at home. I'll always recommend having that because they just love it, don't they? They just seem to be crazy about it.
Get special cat grass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's good for them to eliminate hairballs.
Yeah, for the digestion and everything. They just love it.
Yeah. Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, and you can buy it especially, and you can grow it yourself. You can buy it done already, or I normally buy it in the trays and just grow it, and it's in 3 days. It's really thick and quite high.
Yeah.
So
didn't realise that. Yes, Animal Talk with Selina Facebook page, just as Kay mentioned. I've got a WhatsApp in for Caroline, and it's from Beatrice in Fuengirola, and it said, can Caroline teach me how to massage my Labrador? I'm willing to pay once, but then I need to know how to do it myself.
I can show you certain techniques like effleurage and petrissage that are really, really beneficial for your dog.
Effleurage and petrissage?
Yeah. That's Swedish massage, basically. Swedish massage, which will really help you connect with your dog. It's a fantastic way of helping your dog to relax. But deep tissue release techniques that I do, you would have to do a diploma in canine massage to do that. But I would be more than happy to go around and have a chat and show you what you can do without doing the qualification. As long as there's nothing... your dog isn't suffering, from arthritis or in a lot of pain, then that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Well, Beatrice will give all Caroline's details out at the end of the programme, so you can contact her. Back onto cats, Kay. Cat collars. Why would an indoor cat have to have a cat collar?
So, I mean, my cats are indoor cats and they've all got safety collars with the name and number. There's loads of reasons why, I would say, but if there's an emergency, God forbid, if there was a fire or something, and it got out, fell off a balcony or something, mine wouldn't, because it's like Fort Knox in my house. But I know not everyone's as obsessed as me about cat safety, but you never really know what's going to happen. I mean, so many people, they don't have cat collars because they think that they're dangerous, but you can get the safety collars. And I would always recommend, whether you've got an indoor cat, outdoor cat, to have a safety collar with, even if it doesn't have the name on, just with your telephone number, because you genuinely never know what's going to happen. And I'm finding so many cats, and I just wish that when I find them and they do belong to people, they've got a microchip. Many people have not got a cat box just hanging around in the car, or I'll just pop to the vets and check if this cat's got a microchip, or dog as well. If you've got a collar with your number on, it just makes everything so much easier for everyone else.
Exactly, so it's a lot faster.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I understand why people are worried about the non-safety collars, because in case a cat gets stuck on the tree or anything. Right, we have a caller, so let's see if they want to ask a question. Good afternoon. Who's there, please?
Hello, Selina. Good afternoon. It's Sharon from Alicante.
Hello,
Hi,
Sharon. How are you?
Hello, I'm sorry, I haven't phoned for ages. I've got kidney failure.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's about my little boy. I've got two cats, and a little boy and a little girl, and we had them as kittens together. It's probably one for Nestle. The little girl is fine. He's the Siamese looking, but he's obviously a mixed bag. He has developed a terminal tumour between his shoulders on his back, and there's no cure. The vet we normally saw said there's no cure, just keep him, because he stopped eating kibble. And what I'm after now really for is to maintain his quality of life. In other words, give him what he wants to eat. Now, he went off the kibble and any meat and stuff, and we were giving him jelly mousse, which the vet said would be okay because it's got some liquid in it. He stopped drinking, but he's now she went on holiday. I'll try and be quick. She went on holiday, and we saw another vet in her place, and I think it's always good to get a second opinion. The other vet, I said, no, there's no cure, but I'm after a quality of life issue with him, really. So this vet drained some fluid off the lump, because it's so big, it's like a fistful, and it wobbles as he walks, and seeing my baby in that state is killing me, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
So she's given me some antibiotics, because what he was doing, he was scratching the scab on the back and making himself bleed. So she's given him some antibiotics and some cortisone. I don't know what that's for, but whether it's to stop the tumour from growing for as much as we can control it for a while. I really after quality of life issue. We don't mind paying out every so many weeks for him to have the tumour drained. This vet, the second vet, drained the tumour off and got several files of fluid off it, and gave us these tablets, and his quality of life seems better. He's playing, he's grooming more, he's more himself, he's teasing the other cat like he used to tease her, where that all stopped and he was just sleeping. Now I want this to go on. I want him to have the quality of life. We can afford to fork out for that every so many weeks. We're fortunate. What does Nestle recommend? Am I doing the right thing or am I doing the wrong thing?
I think at the moment the best thing that you are doing is giving the steroids. Yeah, right, because the steroids, it improves his appetite. It's also a very powerful anti-inflammatory, because you don't want him to suffer.
Yeah.
And when he's eating properly and drinking properly, he'll feel a lot better. Yeah. And he can handle it a lot longer.
Thank you so much, Nasa. That's all I was after, as another opinion, because I think it's always a good idea to do that. and I'll tell my husband when he gets in, because he's definitely eating better. He looks livelier. His quality of life has improved, and as far as we can tell, he's in no pain. Now, when this course of cortisone or whatever it is has finished, do we go back? Can we go back to the vet that will return from holiday and ask her if we can continue this treatment, if we're prepared to pay for it?
Just explain to her how well it went. Yeah, she knows the effect of this medication, and she'll absolutely agree with you.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you so much.
Wish the best of luck.
You saved my day. Thank you.
Bless you,
for
Sharon.
calling.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, I hate to hear things like that. It's awful.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because it has to be doable. Yeah, they still have to have quality of life.
Yeah,
and without you wanting to go on too long, which is not necessary, but it's hard.
It's hard, a hard choice to make. We've got all sorts of messages coming in. One from Veronica, who said you can buy it in Mercadona. Now, I don't know if she's talking about the grass or the
cat grass spray. You can buy in Mercadona, that's true. Yes, you can.
We're assuming that's what you meant, Veronica. Mm-hmm. Great to hear from you. I also had a message from Beatrice in Fuengirola, who said, I'd love to listen to the rest of this show, but I'm on my way out, so please can I have Caroline's details? Over to you.
Hi, Beatrice. My number is 608803897, or you can find me on Facebook, the letter K, the number 9, and Bodywork.
Wonderful. And we've also had one from Mike in La Manga, just to say that me and my wife love the programme. There is always such good advice and tips. Keep up the good work.
No, thank you.
Mike in La Manga, that's nice. Right, so we spoke to Sharon. Now, just before we take our first advert break, back onto the cats, Kay. What about bells on cats' collars? Is that good or bad?
Well, it's a little bit of my pet hate is this, because, you can debate all day about it, but in my opinion, because my cats are indoors and cats shouldn't be out eating all the wildlife anyway, there's no need for any cat to have a bell on. I understand people do it because it does reduce, they say, by 30% the deaths, obviously, of insects, birds, wildlife. However, I do think that, and it has been proven, it doesn't affect the hearing. However, it's quite annoying. It's even quite annoying for us. So you can imagine how annoying it is constantly for them. Ding, 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 all the time. What do you think, Nasli, about this?
I agree. Yeah, we both agree here. It is annoying.
And some people even have 2 bells on the cats, and they have indoor cats, and they've got all these bells, and I'm not really sure why.
Is it so that you can find out where they are? Is that the reason?
Just call them.
Yeah,
just call them. They might not come to you. Little Billy's over there. I can hear him ringing.
Yeah, it is a common myth though about they do say that it affects the hearing. That is not. It's not sense. True that it doesn't affect the hearing, but it does affect their mental state. And if you've got a nervous cat anyway, and it's constant, you can imagine if it annoys us, then it's going to annoy them as well. So I don't recommend bells on collars.
That's a good point. Okie dokie. Well, let's take our first advert break. We will be back on the other side.
Talk Radio Europe.
The Lifestyle Show. Presented by Selina MacKenzie.
What is that?
It's a donkey.
You'll never guess in a million years.
Is it some kind of insect?
No, it's just something that goes into water.
A duck.
A penguin.
A penguin?
I've never heard a penguin
No, I've
sound
never heard that before.
Well, if you want to hear the penguin sound, or if you want to join in our conversation, or like Sharon, ask any questions to our experts, here's how to get in touch.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
Okie dokie. I was reading a David Attenborough site the other day, because I love David Attenborough, and he was saying, please be careful by using weed killer, because people have been using them on the dandelions, for example, and that's where the bees go, and they like to go into the dandelions and take bits of it, and they're getting killed. So one thing is, please don't use weed killer on your dandelions. The second thing is, Nasli, what to do if you find a bee that's struggling.
Get it some honey.
Yeah.
Just water with some sugar would do.
Water
yeah?
with
And just put the front in. Yeah, they're usually then so in a bad state that they're not going to sting you anyway.
Yeah. It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's awful.
I just get a little spoon, and then just put a little bit of the sugar water on the end, and just literally go to feed it, and you see it'll put its little bits, antenna things down and actually drink.
And then start to clean them.
Yeah.
Just little bits.
Oh, bless.
Little bits in the sugar water. It's antennas, Kate.
Antennas, but aren't these antennas? This is a different thing.
No.
We need to find out that.
Okay, we'll get back to bee anatomy.
Yeah, the anatomy of a bee. Right, so let's go back on to dogs. We've talked about cat collars. What about the pros and cons of dog collars, Kate?
So obviously it's great when you're out to have dog collar with your identification, always, in case, you never know, you could be out on a walk, you could trust your dog, but then it might run off after something, and if someone finds it again, if you're in the middle of nowhere or you haven't got time, not everyone's willing to take your dog to the vet, and it's not their responsibility to do that. If they want to help and the telephone number's there, fantastic, then they can, get in touch with you. But also the dangers of, I've been reading recently a few things about people having the dogs with the collars on in the house and they've got stuck on things, especially obviously if they've got like a name tag or something like that, so it's quite contradicting. But in the house I wouldn't have your dog collar on. I saw something about, two dogs got stuck to each other and they got quite badly injured with their collars, and also like you have like grates and things in the ground in your house, and the name tags or some of the metal can get stuck, and they can be stuck for quite a long time. Also, if you crate training, and I've seen dogs that have got caught on the crate as well.
Oh yeah,
so I would
seen that too.
definitely say that you need to be super careful, because you don't have safety collars for dogs, because of course they'll pop off, when you're taking them for a walk or whatever. But I wouldn't recommend to have a collar on for your dog in the house.
Do you have them on your dogs?
I do, but you don't have to have a tag on a dog collar. You can get dog collars where the telephone number is stitched onto them. Mm-hmm. So that stops the clicking, the annoying sound when your dog's eating and knocking the bowl, but also it would solve that problem because they're not going to get trapped on anything. But I see quite a few of my clients with like fabric collars with the number stitched on or printed onto the fabric. So you don't have to have a dog.
Yeah, you can have them made on the internet. With the name and the telephone number.
Yeah, that would be a really great solution for that.
I don't know if that's what Inez does, who sometimes comes on the show. She makes the harnesses. So and if she has the numbers.
I think she did actually for some rescues or some transport company. They all had the same collars with the number stitched on. So that is a really good idea.
Great idea. I saw as well on the news the other day of how these extendable dog leads are so dangerous. People are falling over them and all sorts.
They burn. If you get trapped in one, they burn your legs. My leg's been burnt by one. And also the dogs get caught up in them and they panic then and they can't get away from each other, and that's when fights happen.
They're really dangerous.
They're the bane of my life. I hate them. I think
second that one.
Yeah, they're
I
so
said
dangerous.
That one.
Terrible.
So dangerous.
I thought this after what I read. Yeah, terrible. And I don't think there's any need. I know they want the dogs to be able to have a bit more freedom, but go somewhere and let them off.
Not on
somewhere
an
where you
extendable.
can. Not on an extendable lead.
Yeah, they're very dangerous for both parties.
Exactly. And if you do have an extendable lead and you are somewhere where they can get tangled up, just put a brake on.
Yeah. Or if you're around other people, because it's so frustrating when you're walking and you've got your dog on a short lead and there's dogs swerving in and out and you're having to step over the leads all the time.
They can run onto the road as well. I mean, I actually know of a dog that got run over on a flexi lead. Sorry to be depressing, but these things happen because they just run and then it just gets really long but you can't control it. Because it's so long. You can't. It's impossible. They're quite dangerous and I would not recommend them.
That's all for us that think that. Yeah, okay. Well, I've got an interesting dog fact. You probably know it. Dogs and rain. The reason that dogs hesitate before going out into the rain is not because they're afraid of getting wet. It's because rain amplifies sounds and their ears are so sensitive that it can be too intense for them.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting.
I didn't know that. That's
I
interesting.
didn't. I just thought my dogs were princesses and, oh no, I'm not going to who knew? Right, we have another one here, another WhatsApp. Kerry-Ann in Marbella. Please can you remind your listeners not to give hedgehogs milk because it can kill them. They appreciate food, things like unsalted raw meat, such as mincemeat. I also give mine cat food, but not fish, and they do need water. I guess
that's fantastic.
Absolutely true.
That's true.
Good advice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. And still on dogs, Kay, what about, because you've got Rescue Paws Spain, what about rescue dogs? Because people who take on rescue dogs, I think, don't realise how difficult it can be to get them used to.
Yeah, I mean, we say, don't we, like, it can take up to 3 months. Of course, it can take a lot longer than that, but I think sometimes they rescue a dog or a cat as well, and they expect them to just fall into sort of being socialised, knowing that they're house trained. I mean, a lot of dogs that have been in a kennels, I mean, at AAA we've got dogs that have been in kennels and they've never actually lived in a home. So, you know, you have to realise that it's going to take time. You know, some dogs you can house train in a week. Some dogs you can, it could be a year. Some dogs, if they're older, it could take a very long time and be an ongoing problem. Also, some dogs have never been in the car. So, you know, you can't expect a rescue dog to not panic in the car, to get into the car. You know, we've had dogs returned after 2 or 3 days because, they don't like the car. But what you've got to remember is it must be extremely daunting. They've never been in a car. They don't know where they're going. They could have been abandoned in a car, and that brings back memories of when they were abandoned. So, you know, when you're adopting a rescue dog, you need to consider that, you know, it's going to take time for them to get used to normal life and to adjust. So you have to be very patient and think about, you know, is that what you really want when you're adopting an animal? And you have to put the time in.
Yeah,
the key is patience.
Yeah.
And it's so rewarding them.
That's what I was going to say. We don't want to put people off because it's the best thing you can do.
Amazing.
Just be prepared and just have a bit of patience, I guess. Yeah. You must see a lot of it, like your clients that come for the first time, Caroline. Are the dogs nervous of you because suddenly it's this woman putting her hands on them?
Yeah, they can be. Some of them can be, and some relax straight away. I think it's really important when you're in whenever you're working with animals in whatever role, your intention and your energy when you first connect to that animal is so important. I always take time. I let the dog sniff me, so I'll chat to the owner, and the dog can get used to my smell. And then when I sit with the dog, I take time to calm myself down, calm my breathing down, try and connect to the dog before I start any treatment, and set the intention for the treatment. So hopefully that helps. Occasionally it doesn't, but the majority of the time it does.
Have you ever been bit?
I'm quite shocked sometimes that dogs that have never met me before and they're sort of in quite a bit of pain will let me massage them for 50 minutes because they don't know me. I think it's fantastic.
I find that very amazing. Very amazing too.
It feels it's very humbling. I feel really grateful and honoured when a dog
they've got the trust in you already and they've never met you before. It's really nice.
It is. It's really special.
Is it generally at their own home or do they bring them to you?
Always at their own home. They settle down a lot quicker when they're in their own home. So,
of course, Okay, well, we need to take our second advert break, but we will be right back.
TRE, Talk Radio Europe. The Lifestyle Show. Presented by Selina MacKenzie.
I wish this was television. Your three faces are a picture. Any idea?
No idea.
No idea. It's
bird.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
I don't know where she got these from. She must have been out in the field recording them all. Nasli and possibly Caroline. We've had a WhatsApp from Teresa who says, I have a small dog who shakes sometimes. She's not cold and I don't think she's stressed. She seems happy and healthy. Could it be just a habit?
It can be a habit. There are certain breeds that shake more than others do. For instance, the Chihuahua. Everybody always thought that they were cold and that's why they were shaking. But it's just a thing that they do. Yeah. But as Caroline will mention, it can also be a muscular problem.
It can be muscular. It can be to do with fascia as well, so it can be to do with the dog's connective tissue. If the dog's connective tissue, if the fascia is tight, then sometimes they do shake as well.
How would Teresa know? What should she do?
See a vet. I always think, if you're confused about anything, your first port of call is always your vet, and go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that helped, Teresa. We were just talking off air again about indoor cats.
Yes, we were, because my friend, I have a good friend that has a couple of indoor cats, and she gets quite a lot of stick because people think that cats have to go outdoors and they have to be outside all the time. And I always feel, I get quite frustrated when people give her a hard time, because that's not the case, as I'm sure.
Yeah,
Kate
I'm
can
bursting
confirm.
to speak now, sorry. I am an advocate for indoor cats.
Brilliant.
I have many debates about this, but in my opinion, it's not just my opinion, it's based on facts as well. Whether you like it or not, domestic cats are an invasive species. We're not talking about feral cats and wild cats, we're talking about cats that belong to people, cats that are being fed and taken care of. And it's not only that the nature that the problem is, it's also the fact that, the dangers of the outside world. You've got cars, you've got dog attacks, you've got poison, you've got the caterpillars. You can't watch your cat all the time. And I feel very strongly about it, but I don't know how people that live in the camper, it's very difficult sometimes to keep your cats inside if they've always gone outside. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're thinking about getting a cat, please research about indoor cats, because if they have enough mental stimulation and things in the home, it's very easy and cheap to be able to protect your windows, your balconies. And, I know people that live in massive houses with lots of windows and doors, and they have indoor cats, and if you want to do it enough, it can be done. And the most important thing is the mental stimulation. They don't need to be out hunting a real mouse. You can get them so many. I've got a remote control one for my cats, and it's not just fun for them, it's actually fun for us watching them, because they just love it. There's so many things that you can use now for your cat to keep it mentally stimulated. There's absolutely no reason why you can't have an indoor cat, and no one should feel bad or guilty for having an indoor cat.
I agree.
Would you agree as a vet?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All the accidents and things that go wrong is those that are outside.
Yeah, and the windows and things. These windows that open out like a V shape. Recently I've shared things on Facebook. So many cats have been very badly injured trying to get out, or they've been stuck. There's so many things that you can buy now, even for really custom made windows and all sorts, to stop your cats from they're not escaping. Of course, cats, they say curiosity killed the cat. They are very curious about things, but again, enough mental stimulation and care, and you should play with your cats. My idol, obviously, Jackson Galaxy, will say, and he says it all the time, you should play with your cat every single day, even if it's for 20 minutes a day, because also the relationship with your cat, it's nice to build that relationship with treats, with playing with them and keeping them mentally stimulated. They're such intelligent creatures, and people have cats their whole life and they don't know the potential of their cat. So I think that it's really good to have indoor cats. It's very true. You can train them.
You have to make sure you've got plenty of room for them to get the exercise, to run sometimes.
You can buy now, there's so many things I could tell you. We could have a full show about it, but they've actually, the big wheels, the very large wheels for your cats. And at first they're a bit sort of, what's this? But they absolutely love it, but it just takes time. They're not going to just jump on it and run on it like a hamster. However, it takes time. It's the same with the electronic litter trays. They're not just going to go in it directly, but in time they will get used to it and they will exercise. But playing with your cats, they say with the laser, you can play with the laser as long as you reward them afterwards. Don't play with a laser pen and then just finish the game. You have to give them something as a reward for playing with the laser. That's really important, otherwise it's quite disappointing for them.
And never shine it in their eyes.
No.
Yeah. Okay. We've had somebody sent in something that was in the Costa Blanca news that was quite interesting. It says a pet-friendly seal has been launched by the Costa Blanca Tourism Board to capitalise on the increasing number of people who want to bring their animals on holiday. Last year, the provincial government offered aid for non-profit organisations to create a distinction which would identify establishments that admit animals using the slogan Aquí sí. or here, yes. A leaflet with all the relevant information about these businesses, as well as recommended routes and beaches for taking pets, has been translated into English, French, German and Valencian. You can find more in the Costa Blanca News. So that's an interesting one.
Very good.
Very interesting one. And I also have the AAA Dog of the Week, which we have every week. This week we have Snoopy, who's 3 years old, a very handsome white with a small amount of black and fawn Bodegero dog. He's medium size, he's a lovely character and is a favourite amongst volunteers. Do you know him, Kate?
Yes, very nice dog. They all are.
He's good with other dogs, male and female, although he can be a little selective as he doesn't warm to some alpha males. Who does? If you're interested in this handsome, cuddly and lovely young man, you can find him at AAAmarbella.org and put in reference number 29029. You also have lots of cats, I'm guessing, that need adopting.
We've got so many amazing cats for adoption. I want to just quickly talk about one of them, which I did post on Facebook this week. It's Martha, the mini cat. So she's basically like the size of, say, a 4-month-old kitten, but she's actually 1.5 years old. She's very small, but very in proportion. And she's great for someone that, you know, when people have kittens and then afterwards they always say, well, it's the same with kids as well, isn't it? They say, oh, I wish they could stay small forever. Well, this is the cat for you then. She's a tiny little black cat. She's got the most beautiful piercing eyes. She's a little bit shy at first. Once she gets to know you, she's absolutely amazing and cuddly. And she will stay small. We call her Marta the mini cat.
She is sweet,
She is really sweet. Yeah, I'm going to post it on your page as well.
Do so.
So if anyone wants to speak to me about adopting cats or dogs for anyone, it's info at AAAmarbella.org.
And you also need volunteers for bottle feeding?
Yes, we do. I mean, it's quite a difficult thing to bottle feed when you're first starting, but if anyone would want to learn to bottle feed, then I'm up for showing anyone that. But if there's anyone with experience of bottle feeding kittens and puppies, now is the time to come forward, please, because we are getting so many. Yesterday I got 7 one-day-old kittens. I had a phone call about 2 hours ago, which is why I was flapping a bit when I arrived, about 2 puppies that were 3 days old that needed bottle feeding. We do have some backup, but it'd be really great to have more volunteers and people as well that are quite experienced with this thing, because it's not that easy. But I'm willing to teach anyone. I can do via video call. I can send some videos that I've made to teach people how to do it.
And because it's such intense work, you imagine you're feeding, say, every 2 hours, day and night. So if there is a small group of people that do this, it's too much. So the more people that could help out, the better it would be.
And the people who are already volunteering, say at AAA, have got enough to do with the feeding and things, but that's a time sensitive thing.
I mean, you can do relays, which is I love doing with a couple of my fosters. So for example, if you do like 2 days on, 2 days off, so like it works really well, because a lot of people, they're working, they're tired obviously, and they need a little bit of a break. So if you've got a group of people, of course it's great if one person can just take them, but you know, with the lifestyle sometimes you can't always do that, but you want to help. A group of say 4 people between a week, and if you lived close or neighbours etc., you could actually do it between you, and it works really well.
A lovely thing.
It's such a nice experience, really rewarding.
Get in touch, people. One more WhatsApp. I was told that this is from Dan the White Van Man. I was told that apple cider vinegar is a great antibacterial and antifungal agent and has cancer preventative properties. Is it true that I should use it to treat my pet's ear infection? Love the show, Dan the White Van Man.
It is a very good product in aid of the ear, yes, but also for between the toes.
Oh, okay.
A lot of dogs come in with licking their feet, which is obviously something they're walking in, or what stays on because they sweat between their toes. Yeah, so it's a bit moist there, so that things stick onto it. Now, you don't always want to wash your dog's feet 3 times a day, yeah, but with spraying on some apple cider vinegar, you prevent bacterial growth, fungal growth, yeasts that like to sit there also, and the same applies for the ear. But don't throw it into the ear. Yeah, it's really idea you put it on the cloth and you just clean what you can see.
Yeah, don't just drop it in neat. Yeah, because they can get yeast in their ear as well, can't they? Like between their toes,
and it can be very persistent.
Not very nice smelling. Yes. Right, our final advert break. Where does the time go?
Time flies.
I know, when you're having fun.
This is Talk Radio Europe. The Lifestyle Show. Presented by Selina MacKenzie.
I can't even pronounce what that was. Oh, it's gone. It's disappeared. It was something beginning with C. I don't know what it was. Can't help you there. Right, we have about 5 minutes left. What is cat FIV?
So basically, I mean, obviously, Nazli, you can help me with this one, but there's 2 different kinds of viruses that cats are quite common to get. There's FIV, which is feline immune virus, and then there's FELV, which is basically feline leukemia. Now, a lot of people get very confused between the 2, and I think it's very important for people to know the difference because they are quite different. They can be life-threatening. I mean, one more than the other, the leukemia can be. But now people are getting more educated, and I don't mean vets, I mean actual owners. They're actually realising that it doesn't have to be a death wish anymore. Years ago, I mean, I remember many years ago in England, if you heard that your cat had FIV or FELV, leukemia, they would put your cat to sleep in a heartbeat. Yeah. Now we've got new medicines. Yeah, you can't cure it, but you can help. And I'll pass this over to you, Nazli, because you maybe can explain better. But I think it's very important for people to know.
The FIV is the cat variant of AIDS. So you have HIV, which is the human one. You have FIV, which is for the cat, and you have BIV, which is for the bovines. Yeah, they're the only ones that have this immune deficiency virus. Now, if a cat has that, that means any infection it gets will not go normally. Yeah, it'll be much more severe. It will spread much more because the cat just doesn't have the resistance to fight this. Yeah, nowadays we have more drugs. We have things to control the immune system. Yeah, so that is handleable. The cat leukemia, though, is a virus that is easily transmitted. Also causes a bit of an immune problem because the white blood cells are infected. But the problem with it is that it gives tumours. Oh. Yeah, very easily it gives like too much white blood cell activity in the mouth. Yeah, now those cats, they do have a problem with it, and also for them we have more treating techniques. If there's a continuous mouth infection, then sometimes it's even better to take out all the teeth, so that you don't have sore teeth. Yeah, and that makes it a lot easier for them.
My cat's got no teeth. It is all
handleable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did it have
it didn't have that. It had another virus, but calcivirus. But again, like, it's not cruel to take your cat's teeth out because my cat eats more than she eats everything.
It's cruel to leave sore teeth in.
Exactly. And you know how much it hurts us when we have toothache.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think this is another reason as well to keep your cat in, because if, for example, your cat has cat AIDS, that can be passed on to other cats, or, you know, your cat could contract it from another cat if they had a fight.
Yeah,
so again,
absolutely.
It's,
more
another
important
pro of keeping your cats indoors.
Yeah, very true.
But only cats and bovines, no other animals?
Oh.
Really? How interesting.
But a lot of people don't test their cats. Like, for example, I think it's important, if your cat has an illness, it's better that you know so you can help. I mean, you can treat it, you can't cure this one, but if you know about it, then of course you're going to know what to be able to do to help.
Absolutely.
So
you need to, exactly. If a cat keeps on getting infections, then you need to find out why.
Yeah.
I want to finish off with something quite funny that I pinched from Inez's Facebook page. It's canine/human child development comparison. So birth, the canine begins walking. Human child, useless. 6 weeks, the canine can be taught to defecate outside. Human child, useless. 6 months, the canine recognises its own name. It knows several tricks and can clearly communicate needs to its owner. Human, child, louder and useless. 2 years, the human and the dog have learned to coexist in a mutually beneficial manner. The dog provides a positive impact on the human's blood pressure. The human child at 2 years, exactly the opposite. And at 13 years old, the canine knows it's a loved member of the human family, and the human child knows everything.
That's a good one.
Funny.
Very clever. Right, just remind us, Caroline, what you do and of your details for anyone who wants to get in touch.
I'm a canine massage therapist, and my details are 608803897, or you can find me on Facebook.
Wonderful. And yourself, lovely Nasli?
Yes, that would be the Pointer Veterinary Clinic in Estepona. Our phone number is 952-804165. Facebook page is Pointer Veterinary Clinic Estepona. That's where I am.
That's where I am. Kay, over to you, but also I know you want to say a big thank you to the lovely Alan.
Yes, so first of all, I'm from Rescue Paws Spain, that's my charity, but I also work for AAA Marbella. You can contact me on Rescue Paws Spain Facebook page, or if you'd like to contact me via email, it's k_AAAcats@hotmail.com. So if anyone needs to contact me, there's a place to contact me. And I just want to say a massive thank you to Alan Boardman, who's actually really been very helpful and raised over €700 for my charity Rescue Paws Spain with me has walking tours, and also he's done several quizzes there's actually one going on right now at Fibber's Irish Bar in Torreblanca. I just want to say thank you so much for your help, and everyone that's supported him and everyone that's gone to the quizzes and the walking tours. It means so much, because when you're a small organisation, it's really, really nice to have some donations to have the backup for emergencies and to help the animals that we help.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your support, Alan, and to everyone who's supported Alan by doing the tours and the quizzes.
Lovely.
Thank you.
And you deserve it. We've all seen you out at night trying to dig drains, rescue kittens and all sorts of other things. Thank you very much, Kay Millington, Nasli van den Kieboom and Caroline Stone. That is it for this month. We'll be back I think it's the 6th of June. I'll be back with the Lifestyle Show tomorrow, but for today's show, it's time for this.
Goodbye, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart, goodbye.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this program, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.